Right now at noon, election officials uncover precinct boundary errors that could impact where people vote in Montgomery County.
And after some dense fog this morning, you can see downtown Pittsburgh, skies clearing overhead. Pretty nice day ahead. We'll look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, a Joplin Good Samaritan receives a special recognition from the fire chief for saving a teenager's life.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities in Kansas City confirmed the cause of death of a Lynn County, Kansas teenager. This is KOM News at noon. I'm Samantha Walker. Last month, authorities arrested this man, Damon Leonard of Pleasanton, Kansas, and charged him with abandonment of a corpse, interference with law enforcement, and having a vicious dog at large. Authorities now say the cause of death to Leonard's 13-year-old neighbor, Aaron Andula, was dog bite injuries. Officers seized multiple dogs from Leonard's property. Leonard admitted to dumping the boy's body next to a creek in Missouri. Crews found the body of the missing juvenile on December 22nd. Now let's check in with Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, we're looking pretty good out there so far. Again, you can see downtown where this morning, visibility's dropped to the point you couldn't see much beyond 3rd and Broadway here. But obviously clear skies overhead. MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin. Looking good. Plenty of folks on the road. Hopefully driving safely. The fog may be gone, but you still got to drive safely, especially with this many cars on the roadway. Yesterday, we came within just a few degrees of a record high, making it up to 68 after starting the day at 42. 2 degrees below the average high for this time of year. So that's what we're talking about with this warm weather. We are sitting at 61 in Joplin, 57 in Pittsburgh, already on our way to a nice warm day. Down south, we got some decent temperatures. We've got some low 60s. Look at Bentonville at 62, Nowata 63, and then up north a wee bit cooler into the upper 50s, so not much. It is a nice day out there. So again, if you didn't get the Christmas lights down this weekend, now's probably a really good time to do that. We're going to have those clear skies continue through the evening into the overnight hours, which will ultimately result in temperatures dropping a bit more. We're going to be a little bit colder tonight, back into the upper 30s because we don't have those clouds to help keep in that warm air. Now, we are tracking thunderstorm chances as we head into Thursday, and some of those could be on the strong side. We're going to break down what you need to know and the timing of those storms here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Thanks, Chris. Mapping mistakes could affect where Montgomery County residents vote. Tensions and confusion rose in Montgomery County yesterday. Information and emails from the state dating back to October were brought forward during the county commissioners meeting. The information indicated that the county's precinct map did not match what the state of Kansas has on file. Those precinct maps inform residents about where they vote and the candidates that will show up on their ballot. Tensions arose when one commissioner asked where the discrepancies came from, and no one could give an exact answer. Joplin City Council members vote on a nearly $1.6 million plan to transform Joplin's aging sports facilities. Council members passed the contract on first reading to replace the synthetic turf at Joe Becker and Wendell Redden stadiums. The project also includes new turf installation at 4 fields in the Gene Baseman softball complex, where the majority of the funding will be spent. Mid-America Sports Construction will handle the work, removing the old turf and installing new AstroTurf. The upgrades were approved by voters as part of the quarter-cent Parks and Stormwater sales tax in 2021. Well, Joplin Good Samaritan received special recognition at yesterday's council meeting for saving a teenager's life. Joplin Fire Chief Gerald Ezel presented Mark Crandall with the Chief's Cross for his heroic actions during a house fire on South Pearl Street in December. Crandall had grabbed a ladder from his truck and rushed to help 15-year-old David Hatfield, who was trapped on a second-floor balcony.
I didn't see him at first because the smoke was so thick, and once the wind shifted, I seen the kid up there, and at that point there was no other option but to save the kid.
I told him I wish he'd stayed around so I could thank him, and he mentioned, forgive me, he'd mentioned that he needed to leave while the real heroes showed up. And while the firefighters are heroes, I would say Mr. Crandall is right there among them.
I have to wait till October of every year, but this was important enough and big enough that I thought, man, we've got to do this, and I want to do it at a council meeting so everybody in the city can see this.
The December 16th morning fire displaced multiple residents from the multi-unit house. One person was taken to the hospital and treated for smoke inhalation. Well, January is National Human Trafficking Prevention Month, and a coalition of local organizations is trying to raise awareness. KOAM's Kenny Foreman spoke with multiple experts on the importance of being aware of the issue.
Approximately 27.6 million people worldwide fall victim to human trafficking, according to the UN's International Labor Organization. For Prevention Resources Director at Life Choices Health Network, Chelsea Delgado, it's crucial to educate people on it as early as possible.
The average age of a trafficked victim in America is 11 to 14 for girls. And so when I teach in schools, that is the demographic that I'm teaching to. And they're very much still children. So I don't want to scare them, but I want them to understand that this is a real threat.
A major point of concern is an increased use of technology, especially when it comes to children. This can often put them more at risk when it comes to unwanted encounters.
What happens on the internet is real life, and it can stay around and haunt you for a long time. And so I want to make sure that we're critically thinking, both as parents and as children, about what our lives are online, and make sure that we're sharing what happens online with safe and trusted people.
Since human trafficking can occur in many different forms, some tend to get confused on what to look for.
When the media portrays perpetrators of human trafficking as people who are snatching people and kidnapping them and they're scary strangers, that can be misleading because often people are trafficked by people who are already in their lives.
But for when there is suspected danger, the Joplin Police Department has a simple message.
See something, say something. We as law enforcement, we don't know anything until the public comes and tells us. It's always beneficial. We have tons of resources online. You can always contact your local police department. You can contact the Southwest Missouri Cybercrimes Task Force, the Human Trafficking Hotline, the FBI.
In Joplin, Kenny Foreman at KOAM News.
Well, coming up, President Trump speaks with Republican lawmakers as his administration navigates how to proceed with Venezuela. And later, we're making an easy cheeseburger ring in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. President Trump addressed Republican lawmakers at a retreat this morning as his administration navigates how to proceed with Venezuela. The president insists the U.S. is not at war with Venezuela, but says current course will, quote, fix the country. Aaron Navarro reports from the White House.
Speaking to House Republicans at the Kennedy Center Tuesday morning, President Trump praised the raid to capture Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro.
It was so complex, 152 airplanes, many, talk about boots on the ground. We had a lot of boots on the ground. But it was amazing, and think of it, nobody was killed.
Trump administration officials briefed House and Senate leaders on the operation Monday afternoon.
I'm not concerned about anything.
But some lawmakers were concerned, especially about the administration's plans for Venezuela's future.
Their plan for the U.S. running Venezuela is vague, based on wishful thinking, and unsatisfying.
President Trump says oil companies will have to spend what he calls a tremendous amount of money to rebuild Venezuela and will then be reimbursed either by the U.S. or through oil revenue. White House officials are set to meet with oil executives later this week.
They've got a resource that's the size of the richest countries in the world in the Middle East. This could be the biggest prosperity story ever.
Republican leaders say the U.S. military will not be stepping foot onto Venezuela.
We don't expect troops on the ground. We don't expect direct involvement in any other way.
But since the Venezuela raid, administration officials have been ramping up talk about takeover of another territory.
Greenland should be part of the United States. The president has been very clear about that. That is the formal position of the U.S. government.
Denmark governs Greenland, and its prime minister said Trump's threats should be taken seriously, adding that an attack on one NATO country by a NATO member would mean the end of the alliance. Aaron Navarro, CBS News, the White House.
Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Great recipes never go out of style, and that's definitely the case with what we're making today. And good news, it's budget friendly too.
And we're tracking thunderstorm chances as we get closer to the end of the week. Details on when they'll be here and what they'll bring when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon. Skies again much clearer today after that very foggy start across the area. Again, thankfully it burned off. Clouds went away with it. Live look downtown Pittsburgh. I think I see two maybe 3 clouds out there. A whopping 3 clouds, at least from this perspective. But otherwise, not a bad day so far. Temperatures warming up. That's the thunderstorm chances I know everybody's interested in, because as I mentioned even last week, there were those folks, especially these younger kids on social media, that pretty much were predicting the end of the world for Thursday. And we told you last week we weren't expecting the end of the world. And I'm going to tell you again today, it's not the end of the world. But we do have some storms. And really, the best part of all of it is one of the greater concerns is the potential for some heavy rain. Now, with such dry ground, that can cause some issues on its own. But we need rain in the 4 states. This is our first best chance at some rain out there. So, future track for the rest of today. Really not much. I promise you it works. Like I've said before, sometimes we have these pleasant days. The only way you know the future track's doing anything is because the clock moves forward. But it is working. There's just not much going on. We'll have calm winds overnight tonight. As we head into Wednesday, winds will shift out of the south, occasionally gusting to 20. Clouds will begin to increase through the morning into the afternoon, and we'll start to go mostly cloudy. However, we're going to spend the majority of Wednesday dry. So don't let the clouds fool you. It may look like it's about to rain. It's not yet, but it will eventually. Now, again, as I mentioned earlier, not really showing up so well, but we could get an isolated shower or storm very late tomorrow night. Again, after 9, 10 o'clock. But the better chances begin as we head into Thursday morning, maybe as early as 2 or 3 a.m. We start with scattered showers, perhaps a few thunderstorms. Initially, not that big of a deal. But as we go through the morning hours, we'll see more shower and thunderstorm development. And some of these, especially into southeast Kansas initially, and I think eventually down to the south and east, could be strong to low-grade severe. Then we get a second round that develops as the actual boundary arrives, and we're going to have very gusty winds up ahead of this, and we'll have these showers, we'll have these thunderstorms, and we'll again have that opportunity for a strong or low-grade severe storm. So the greatest concern we have in terms of any hazards with those storms at this point is going to be damaging wind gusts. So again, today, nothing to worry about. Tomorrow, maybe an isolated shower or storm again late in the evening. Remember, this is going to carry over to about 1, 2 o'clock Thursday morning before that kicks in. We do have that 1 out of 5 risk. It's just barely clipping Washington County. That risk is expected to stay to our south and west. And as we go into Thursday, the level 1 out of 5 that's in place out there again, where we could see a strong or low-grade severe storm. So these will be coming through, getting pretty close to commute time on Thursday morning. So regardless of whether or not they get severe, it is bad timing for storms. You're getting out the door for work, for school, getting the kids on the bus. So make sure they've got the umbrella. Make sure they're ready to go. Make sure you maybe keep them in the car if you can, if you take them up to the bus stop or if you're taking them to school. Just because your severe threat aside, you don't want to mess with lightning. You don't want to be outside when there's lightning with any of those storms. So that's one of the things we want to keep an eye on as well. In the meantime, mid-60s today. Some of you down south, again, maybe a little warmer into the upper 60s, and that northwest wind at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Overnight tonight, back into the upper 30s. So again, the clear skies. There's no clouds. There's no thermal blanket. So we're going to get a little colder tonight. Still above normal. As you know, our average low is in the mid-20s. So still above normal, just colder. Winds expected to be calm. We roll into Wednesday. We start clear. Clouds begin increasing, upper 60s down south, maybe some low 70s. Those south winds occasionally gusting to 20. And as I mentioned, late night storm chances, albeit a bit on the isolated to widely scattered side. For Thursday, still mid-60s out there, scattered showers and storms. We go into Friday, it's a mid-50s, and then PM wintry mix. That snow mixed in there. Anything we see Friday, not expecting much out of it by any means, but anything that freezes late Friday night into Saturday morning could lead to just a few slick spots for the early Saturday morning drive. Outside of that, we're not bad. We start warming up again for Sunday and Monday before temperatures begin to drop in the second half of next week. And yes, you do see also flurries possible. It's not buy all the bread and milk time just yet, but we are looking at switching into a much more seasonable pattern over the next week or so, and that could mean maybe some snow chances here and there. And of course, it's something we will keep an eye on, especially for the kids just going back to school. I'm sure they're already looking forward to a snow day. Not there yet, but we'll keep an eye on it.
Welcome to the 4 states where the weather is constantly changing.
Yeah, all 4 seasons in about a little less than 96 hours.
Well, thanks, Chris. Stick around. We're making an easy cheeseburger ring in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. We're making an easy cheeseburger ring in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Today, I'd like to reintroduce you to a recipe that's become so popular over the years. I thought it was about time I shared it with you again. It's one of those meals everyone will be asking for over and over again. And since it's easy, tasty, and budget-friendly, there's no reason why you wouldn't want to try it. We start by cooking ground beef with a chopped onion until the meat is browned and it's well crumbled. After draining off the drippings, we add some ketchup, mustard, cheddar cheese, and a little salt and pepper. After letting this cook for a few minutes, we take it off the heat, and while it cools slightly, we arrange a package of refrigerated crescent roll dough into a sunburst shape, like this. Now we spoon the meat onto this and fold the tips of the dough over it. Once it's looking picture perfect, it's time to pop it in the oven until it's golden brown. And just like you would with any cheeseburger, go ahead and dress it up with all of your favorite go-alongs. Whether you serve this as an easy weeknight dinner or put it out when you're rooting for your favorite team, it's always welcome. To get the recipe for what we call our Easy Cheeseburger Ring, simply visit our website. I'm Howard of the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found an easy, cheesy, beefy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KYMNewsNow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, again, staying mild through Thursday. Showers, thunderstorms building in as we head into Thursday. And again, a strong or low-grade severe storm possible Thursday morning. We'll keep an eye on that for you. Wintry mix Friday evening, not a big deal, but if any of it freezes, it could lead to a few slick spots Saturday morning. And it gets colder next week, and yeah, those are flurries possible. We'll keep an eye on that for you as well.
Definitely something to watch. Thanks, Chris.
You bet.
What do you have for us tonight?
Well, a lot coming up at 5 for starters. With AI making it harder than ever to tell what's real online, students overseas are learning how to spot fake news. From as early as preschool, children are learning how to question headlines, spot misinformation, and even recognize AI-generated images. Plus, we're going to sit down with the Miami Police Department to learn more about the Flock camera program they're working to implement. And we're going to have an inside look at a recently opened early learning center in Pittsburgh. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up on KOAM News at 5.
Well, those all sound great, Dal. Thank you so much. That's the news for now. Thank you for joining us for KOAM News at noon. Have a great afternoon.